Birdies, putting, drivers. These are terms all associated with the sport known as golf. However, in the mid-60s, some guys decided to make the game more interesting and instead of clubs and balls, decided to use discs instead. And thus, the sport of disc golf was born. Disc golf is not a very well-known sport. Most people have probably seen the baskets from the side of the road, but they don't know what they're used for. It's a still growing sport for having been around not even 100 years. It is somewhat popular in Georgia with courses all over, such as Oregon Park and Marietta and the International Disc Golf Center down in Augusta, which coincidentally is also known for regular golf. Disc golf is very similar to golf, and a lot of the terms are even the same. Most courses have 18 holes and are located in parks. You start at hole 1 from the tee pad, which is an oblong-shaped piece of concrete where you throw from. Your goal is to get from the tee pad and into the basket at the end in the least amount of throws, similar to how in golf and swings. After the 18 holes, you tally up your score and try to be under whatever the course par is, and whoever has the lowest score is the winner. I was introduced to the sport about 2 years ago when I met my current boyfriend, Alex. He's a habitual player, and I constantly make fun of him for being a nerd because of how he plays disc golf. Jokes aside, it's a pretty interesting sport and is quite easy to get into on your own. Pretty important to the sport are the tools that you use, which are your discs. Now, never call it a frisbee to a true disc golf player, because they get offended by that. They're always discs. There are 3 types: drivers, mid-ranges, and putters, which are also the name of the clubs used in golf. Drivers are usually thinner, and they have higher speeds, as they're the disc you typically throw first off of the tee, and you want it to go as far as you can. Mid-ranges are slightly different, and are meant for when you need the distance of a driver, but don't need it to fly as far and as fast. Putters are what you use to throw into the basket, and they don't fly as far, and they're a little heavy to ensure that they stay in the basket, because it is no fun whenever there's a spit out after throwing your disc at the chains. There are so many variations of discs, and they come in all sorts of colors and designs and even type of plastic by well-known brands such as Innova and Discraft, and there are many, many others. There are also 4 numbers that are on every disc that tell a player the schematics of each disc. These numbers represent the speed, turn, glide, and fade. Players look at these numbers to tell them how a disc will fly through the air, and depending on the strength and ability of the player, this is how they pick the ones that they like. Most players also carry their discs in special backpacks that have all sorts of compartments, or you can buy a cart to pull around. It's also interesting to see people who make their own carts out of baby strollers and other various home appliances. Now there are 2 types of players in the disc golf world: those who like to go out and play for fun, and those who play in tournaments and take it seriously. I'm one of those members who likes to play for fun, and I also like to watch, but I'm not super competitive like Alex. Along with Alex, there are over 100,000 other people who are yearly registered members of the Professional Disc Golf Association, or PDGA. When you register for about $20 each year, you receive your member number the first time, and you also get a cool keychain that has the year registration on it. You can also sign up for tournaments that are held year-round for a discounted rate. Now, it's not necessary to be a member of the PDGA to play in tournaments, although most people that play are. When you register, you're given a rating, which starts out pretty low, and how you perform determines how many points you get. For people like Alex who is concerned with this, it's important to play well in every tournament, as one bad day can throw off your rating. Trust me, I know. In tournaments, there are different fields that you can sign up for depending on your skill level. There's recreational, intermediate, advanced, and open. Open players are at the top, and they play for actual money in tournaments, whereas the other divisions play for prizes and money to buy more discs. As with any professional sport, there are also professionals, and disc golf is no exception. While these men and women don't make as much money as NFL players do, they do bring in some big bucks when they perform well at tournaments. Some popular names are Paul Macbeth or Eagle McMahon. These guys are sponsored, and they can also throw over 500 feet on their first throws, which is pretty ridiculous, but that's why they're the professionals. There's also a popular filming crew called Jomez Productions, who they go to all the different tournaments and film the pros, and then put the videos up on YouTube for people to watch at home. They sometimes even have the professionals who are videoed provide commentary on their own rounds. Now, Alex is currently in the advanced division with a rating of 928, which is pretty good to me, but he always strives to be better. The professionals, they're up in the thousands, which he's got a little bit of a ways to go. Disc golf is a typically male-dominated sport. Although there are women who play, the majority of them are men. Women also have their own divisions to play in against other women, so that way it is not an unfair advantage. There is no typical one look for a disc golf player, as they come from all different walks and paths of life. Disc golf players are typically very friendly, and they're open to including new people into the sport, as it is still growing. There are numerous online communities, mostly on Facebook, where people talk about discs, different courses, and even to simply ask if anyone wants to go play a round. People come from all over at tournaments, so when we've gone to certain areas, we've met people from different cities and sometimes different states. Most tournaments only last for one day, and they usually include 2 rounds of play, but some can last 2 days or even a whole week, which Alex went to his first week-long tournament located in Kansas back in April. In order to learn how to play, you simply have to get out and do it, as well as practice, practice, practice. There are YouTube videos that people post you can watch, but every person's style of playing is completely different. While I may joke about it, I give credit to disc golf players, because it's pretty hard, and it's not easy to play, especially during the summer months when it is boiling hot down here in Georgia. I love the sense of community that disc golf has, and I've loved getting to meet and become friends with all of the people that I have been introduced to.